All right. Here we go. Let's see. Save it. All right. Today we are going to go over SHAVOT, the Moedim, the appointed day of Yahweh, the feast day, Pentecost, right? Now, what does that come out to be? It comes out to be the 50th day after Passover, because we need to know of all these different things of how to put it together, right? So it comes out to be the marriage day, the day of marriage, right? When Yahweh brought them to Mount Sinai, so what happens there? He comes and he brings them to Mount Sinai and he gives them the covenant. He gives them their wedding vows. And they already said, I do, right? So what are we looking for here? We're looking for the truth. And why should we keep these days? Everybody says, well, these are done away with and these are different days and all these different things. But what is the real reason why we should keep these days? Because his name is Yeshua and the Father's name is Yahweh, and because he said so, right? It's no relationship to come and say that we don't do what the Father says. Whether we like it or not, if we don't do what the Father says, we find ourselves like Noah, right? We find ourselves in a world of people that did not do what the Father said. Therefore, what happens? They are getting washed away. They're getting thrown away. So we have to do what he says the way he says it, or we get ourselves into trouble. The children did this, and they found themselves in trouble, right? They went into slavery. We see today what happens with us because of fear. If we're not careful, we turn around and we say, oh, we're afraid of this, we're afraid of that. And what happens? The fear sends us into so many different ways, so much different things, so much bad things going on in the world, really, right? There's just so much terribleness and hatefulness going on that we don't know what to think of it in most cases. What we have to do is believe in the word and do what he says. And the best thing we can do with that is keep his feast days. If you will keep his feast days, he will be your God, and that is just fine and great, right? The problem is we have made the world, we've let the world tell us what to do, and we've kept the worldly days, and therefore we are doing what? Looking like the world, talking like the world, and acting like the world. No. Exodus 19:1. In the third month, on the third new moon, this new moon is a full moon, the Keshe, right? This is the Keshe moon. This is the one that we are looking at to find this calendar. You have the Gregorian calendar, you have the Egyptian calendar, you have sundial calendars, you have all kinds of calendars, but the calendar from the scriptures is Yahweh's calendar from the beginning, right? So to find this calendar, we have to do what he says. In the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, that same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. Then when Yahweh said, right, he told them what to do. So what happens here is we're looking for the truth. We're looking for what Yahweh said and not the fear of it all, because we know what fear leads to. Fear leads to what we see today. The problem is, again, is when the prophet, when the word comes, many people don't want to hear it. It's easier, sadly. It's nicer for most people to believe in what they want to believe. That law's done away with. This is done away with. So let's believe in what we want to believe. And it brings us to our current situation of today, where Yahweh says, let my people go. Let them come and serve me. Let them come and be my children, and I will take care of them. So the problem is people come and they play religion. They play denominations. They play all these different things where the scripture says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you practice lawlessness, you worker of iniquity, right? Which is lawlessness. So we have to go and understand what the Creator is saying, because these people are saying, I went to church. I did what I thought I was supposed to do. I thought I was right. I thought I was casting out demons. I thought I was doing all these things. So let's talk about the marriage. In the beginning, everything was fine. The honeymoon was going great, right? Then, because of sin, because of disobedience, Yahweh divorced us. We got divorced because why? Because of sin. And then you come along to the golden calf and you come on to slavery. And now we are behind the locked doors. We are slaves, and which many are slaves to the world today, right? They are slaves to the world, to the system. Now, the only way to get away from this is what? Do what the Father says. Through our Yiddish history, it has been customary to have all-night study of Torah on the first of SHAVOT, on the day of Pentecost. We have been taught in many churches that Pentecost was a big sing-off. It was a big day to sing and praise and do all this. But actually, just like with anything else, if you want to learn something, you have to learn it. Now, if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession, although the whole earth is mine. Exodus 19:5. It's all his. We are all his children. The problem is we don't know him. And the only way we can come to know him is if we do what he says. And in many cases, we don't even know what that looks like. We don't even understand what's going on. We think the worldly way and the way the world has done it, right? But he says, if you obey me fully, we can't take out some of the Bible, the Old Testament of the Bible, the New Testament of the Bible, or any part of the Bible and say, well, guess what? I can just live the way I want to, believe the way I want to, and do it the way I want to. It's all got to be what the Creator says. Obey me fully and keep my covenant. That covenant is the Sabbath day. That covenant is his feast days. Matthew 5:44. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. What? Do what? That ain't the way the world does things. Is that the way we're really supposed to be doing it? Yes. Exactly what he says to do. Exactly how we grow. Exactly how we take care of business. Let's go on. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Whose statutes, whose commandments, whose laws? Yahweh's. So we can't do away with the law. So, what could this be? What could that he's talking about be? Well, he gave it to Adam. He told them, right, Then we go on, we see in Genesis of what's going on and how he's telling them what he wants them to do. So we either have our ways or we have Yahweh. And what's sad, if we're not careful, if we're doing anything other than what he said to do, then we're going to find ourselves in a big bunch of trouble. We're going to find ourselves in a real pickle, if you will, right? We're going to find ourselves in a world that doesn't believe the truth. What the world believes is cotton candy, cupcakes. It's all good. We can come and we can play and we can act like everything's all right. And oh boy, what a great day. It's so good to come to church. It's so good to come and do this. But what do we find the enemy wants to do? Kill us. In the course of Cain and Abel, right? Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel brought his part of the firstlings of his flock, their fat portions. And Yahweh had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering, he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let us go to the field." And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother and killed him. Then Yahweh said to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" He said, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" So now not only is he a murderer, he's a liar. And Yahweh said, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground, and now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it will no longer yield to you its strength. You will be a fugitive and a wanderer to the earth." Cain said to Yahweh, "My punishment is greater than I can bear. Today you have driven me away from the soul, and I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and anyone who meets me may kill me." Then Yahweh said to him, "Not so. Whosoever kills Cain will suffer a sevenfold vengeance." And Yahweh put a mark on Cain so that no one came upon him would kill him. So what do we see? Because of death, because of the course of time, because of men doing what they want to do and forgetting about what's going on. Did he not realize he was talking to his creator? He's lying to him and acting like he don't know nothing. Isn't that amazing? He's lying and just going on. All cupcakes and candy here. What's the problem? What seems to be the problem? Like he didn't know what was happening. And we do the same thing today if we're not careful. We go and we say, "Oh, but I kind of obey the Bible. I kind of believe the Bible." Well, I believe the Bible. I believe it. But what do we find? Do we keep the feast days? Do we do what he says? Do we listen to what he says? So now we go again. "And now if you diligently obey my voice." See, the problem from the beginning, they didn't obey Yahweh. That's the problem. That's the problem with man. That's the whole problem, is they do not do this verse. We come and we get riches and we get cars and we get boats. And what happens? We don't think we have to obey no more. We got it all. Cain and Abel, Noah, all the people around him. Everything's going good. And about the time we think everything's going fine, we don't think we have to obey. But Yahweh says, "Obey me." "And now if you diligently obey my voice and shall guard my covenant," guard it. Not only are we to do it, now once you are doing these feast days, now once you are doing what you're supposed to do, now you guard them. That means you tell others, you let others know, and you guard them to let them know and you don't let someone take it away. Hey, let's go out and eat bread. No, it's the Day of Unleavened Bread. It's the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Yeah, but let's go out and eat. Hey, let's go do this. Hey, let's go do that. And you shall be to me a reign of Koim and a Kodosh nation. These are the words which you are to speak to your children of Israel. See, we all want to call ourselves a set-apart people, peculiar. We want to sing about it in church, but few people want to do the work. Is it any surprise that he's going to say, depart from me, I never knew you? When he said, come and meet me on these days, come and meet me on the days that I told you to meet me, what do people do? No, I'm busy right now. I can't do that right now. I can't participate that right now. But Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Right? Oh, but I'm such a good Christian. I'm such a good this. I'm such a good believer. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. How many times has this happened right there in the so-called church building? How many times do we see this right before our very eyes? And what happens? Does anybody do a thing about it? Does anybody even care? Does anybody care about it a bit? Are we too worried about having fun and enjoyment? You can go there, you can see it, you can turn it on, you can find the dancing and the prancing and all that's going on, right? And what do we see? People having lustful eyes, lustful thoughts, lustful this, lustful that. And if they ain't doing that, they're mad because Sarah's not, not doing the way I want her to do today. Not listening to me. I ain't going to get to sing my song. They're talking too much. He's preaching too long. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened to 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. This is all about doing what he says and being ready for the next season. The problem with most people, with most churches, with most so-called believers, we're not ready. There's no oil in our lamps. We are spent out. Something comes down and the oil, the prayers, everything's gone away. And we can't apply it to real life. We can't say, well, this is what I believe and this is what I think. If we're not very careful, what we're living is not matching to what we're saying. We say grace and mercy. It's instituted. It's there. It's right here. It's right there. But what about Adam? What about Eve? What about Cain? See, every time that we call upon him, if we're doing right, he hears us. Every time we pray, we should be praying for something worthwhile, something in his will, instead of my car's flat tire and my this and my that. If we are married, we don't talk nonsense, do we? If you're married, do you talk baby talk all day long? You wake up and you say, I got things to do. You got things to do. Let's get something done. Now, you might play and giggle and all that in between there, but when it's time to get something done, we got to get something done. A lot of people are playing church and the other people are playing, I can't breathe. I can't see. I can't talk. I can't, and nobody seems to care. Well, if you just take it a little bit this way, if you move it over a little bit that way, if you do this, if you do that, the same things that we have protests against. The elderly woman walks into Walmart or walks into Best Buy and says, I can't breathe. And people say, it doesn't matter. You're contaminating the area. It's all about being the bride and doing what the king says. And these is what the feast days are about. Right? If you was on the honeymoon and, okay, let's meet in Hawaii. We're going to have a honeymoon. Here's your plane ticket. I'm sorry, I'm busy. I can't get on this plane. I'll meet you there. I'm right behind you. I'll meet you there. But I can't get there just of yet. Would you say, no, I'm waiting for the next flight? No, I'm just going to do what I want to. Some people do. Oh, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I don't care. The marriage talk, the marriage vow, the marriage instructions, the marriage certificate, if you will. The covenant is doing what the Creator says. If we don't do what He says, we're doing it our way. Again, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened to 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. Without doing what He says the way He says to do it, we are breaking covenants. We are breaking the marriage vow. There's no way we can see heaven. How can we see heaven when everything He says to do is not what He wants to do? And then we go and we pick up other gods and we go out with other people and do what other people say to do, and we confirm. Does that work well with you? Does it? If you're the wife and some woman walks up and says, hey, here's some bacon. I just cooked it. Eat it. And the guy gobbles it down and says, that's the best bacon I've ever in my life. Gosh, that's some great stuff right there. Would the wife be content with that? Would she be like, oh boy, that's great? Would that work out that way? No, it would not. Okay, well, I'm going to bring you some pork chops tomorrow. I've made pork chops for you and you don't really like them. Yeah, well, we'll see. And here she comes with a big old plate of pork chops. Oh my gosh, them are delicious. Them are the best pork chops ever. Oh man, them are good. Oh, and on they go and flirtatious. What just happened? What just happened? You're basically throwing everything in your wife's face, and the new harlot is okay. This is exactly what we do with the Bible. This is exactly what has happened. This is exactly what our fathers has handed us lies and told us it's okay to eat pork meat. It's okay to do this. It's okay not to do the feast days. It's okay to do whatever. John 14:3. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you into myself, that where I am, there you may be also. Why would He want you there if you'd never done a word He said? You didn't come and meet Him on the feast days. You didn't take the plane ticket and go to Hawaii and wait there as a good wife, as a good, right? As a good steward. No, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I want to go to heaven. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to do anything. I want to go to heaven. I want to get to heaven. Oh boy, I just want to go to heaven. No, you just don't want to go to hell. If you want to go to heaven, why? If you don't want to listen to Him now, if you don't want to be the bride now, what upon this earth makes you think that you'll be a good bride then? You know Satan fell, right? For some reason, thinks once they make it into heaven, it's fine. You don't think you're going to have a choice any longer? You don't think you're going to be able to disobey? If the angels can, why couldn't you? Let us rejoice and be glad and give the glory to Him, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and His bride has made herself ready. Key words. Made herself ready. The churchianity of this world says, say this prayer. Acts 2:38. Here you go, and you're ready to go, and that's all you need. But the scripture said that you heard it was said to those of old, you shall not commit adultery. We cannot commit spiritual adultery. But yet we go to church and we sit there and we watch Sarah and we Google over Sarah and we watch this one sing and we watch that one sing. And how many lustful, nasty, terrible thoughts is going through people's heads. And the pastors and the preachers and whoever's there say, that's fine. That's okay. Right? It's like wearing your mask like this. There you go. That helps a lot. Well, I'm conforming. I'm doing what's said. I'm going to do exactly what they said. Right? I'm conforming. If we're not careful, we become a people that just doesn't know what's happening anymore. The church doors closed, this closed, that closed, everything closed, and we haven't got the answers. We haven't got the answers because we don't call upon Yeshua. We don't call upon the Creator. We don't go and say, Father, I want to do what you said. I want to do what you told me to do. I just didn't know. But now we know. In my Father's house are many places. And if not so, I would have told you so. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I shall come again and receive you to myself where I am, that you might be also. Marriage talk. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. Well, what are you talking about? We don't know where you're going. We don't know what's going on. We don't get it. We don't get it. Yeah, you don't get it because you don't know him. You haven't took the time to come to his feast days. Passover, unleavened bread, SHAVOT. Oh, I believe. How can you believe if you don't keep his feast days? This is marriage talk. I'm going to prepare a place. In the custom of marriage, men take the wife and set a date to come back to get them. In the meantime, they go to prepare a home for them. The first year is what? Called the honeymoon, where they don't go to war. They don't go do anything. Marriage talk. Matthew 25:1, then the reign of the Shalom shall be compared to 10 maidens who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and there was 5 foolish. We all see right here through Yeshua, and what he's telling us is there's going to be some that are foolish and some that are wise. The ones that are wise are going to come and meet him, are going to prepare for him. Yeshua was sent by the Father Yahweh, and the dowry price is his blood. It's all about marriage. It's all about relationship. Yeshua was sent by the Father Yahweh, and the dowry, because when you get a woman, you pay her dowry. You pay for her, right? You have a price for her. That price was Yeshua's blood, his very blood. Yeshua said to her, woman, what is it to me and to you? My hour has not yet come. His marriage is not yet there. John 2:4. Revelation 19:7. Let us be glad and rejoice and give him praise, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his wife prepared herself. It's real easy here to put it together. All this is about what? A marriage. It's all about listening to the prophet. It's all about listening to what so saith Yahweh. It's all about listening to his word. It's all about coming to him on his feast days and saying, Father, whatever, your will be done. Instead, what do? Well, I'm busy. We see it right there in the parable. I'm busy. I got things to do. I can't listen to the prophet. I don't even know if I believe that prophet. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know about all that. At my church, I heard that you ain't going to do this anymore. In my church, they said, in my church, they told me, in my church, they said, so it leads you to believe is who is your master? Who do you want to be married to? And to her was given to be dressed in fine linen, clean and bright, for the fine linen is the righteousness of the set apart ones. The righteousness is what? The fine linen is the righteousness. You'll be clothed in righteousness. And he said to me, right, blessed are those who have been called to the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said to me, these are the true words of Elohim. How awesome is that? So the renewed vows are the new covenant is actually the renewed vows. We have been lied to and told, oh, this new this and this new that and the New Testament. No, the renewed vows from us breaking the covenant as a people, from them every time that you broke the vows, you're worthy of death. You're worthy of divorce. But in Yeshua and the gentleman that he is, and not the savage, he doesn't come in and beat you with a baseball bat. He comes and says, do as I say. Please do as I say. He says, come and dine. Come and have life. I am life, and I'm life more abundant. I'm everlasting life. I'm the way. If you thirst, come to me. So we can choose to break his vows. We can choose to break his Sabbaths. We can choose to worship how we want to. We can sing to whom and how and to our heart desires. But this is not his marriage. This is not what he says. He says to come and meet him on his feast days, and you will be his bride. If we don't come and meet him on his feast days, then how can we say we're married to? How can we say that we have a relationship? If we're not careful, we're going to hear, depart from me. I never knew you. We never took the time. We was too busy in all the worldly things. We was too busy in everything but. And we didn't prepare ourselves. We didn't get ourselves ready. We didn't go and listen to the Creator. We said, oh, you know, if I just go to my church on Sunday, if I go sit on the pew, if I do what they tell me to do, it's going to be all right. If I just listen to good old Pastor Bob, I think it'll be fine. There's only two things that's going to happen here. Just like he says, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Let us rejoice and be glad and give glory to him, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready. Or, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name? This ain't the world, folks. Friend, this is not the world. Read this. Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name? Do you see that down the local corner bar? You see him casting out demons? No, you don't. You see him calling upon his name and done many wonders in your name. And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. Matthew 7:21. If we don't come to him and do what he says, and that's what SHAVOT's all about. This is the marriage. This is us keeping the covenant. This is not a dance off, a sing off, a choir off. Oh, it's the day of Pentecost. This is the 50th day. You go and you come back and get your bride. I'm going to go away. I'm going to go away. And when I come back to get you, you better be ready. What man would say, hey, I'm going to come and get you. I'll be back. Just wait for me. How long? I don't know. I have to go get it in order. Just wait. I'll be back. Okay. and he comes home and finds her in bed naked with another man. Is he going to take her? No matter what she says, is he going to put up with it? Is he going to believe? They just got together. Folks, we are just getting together. Eternity is a very long time. Well, and people brag, I have lived for the Lord for 20 years. I've went to this church for 25 years. That's all? You're 90. That's all you got? And you're bragging about it? Because you thought you was going to die? You thought with that episode, you thought when you went to hospital at 74, at 80, now you're worried about your life? Do you keep the feast days? Do you come to SHAVOT? And they're wonderful days. They are great days. You come to the Father and you do what he says, and you must be pleasing unto the Father. To be pleasing unto the Father, you have to come to Yeshua. Acts 4:12. And there is no deliverance in anyone else, for there is no other name under the heavens, under the Shelim, given among men, which we can be saved. Acts 4:12, right after Acts, isn't that amazing? Right after Acts 2:38, you read, no other name is there salvation. No other name. So what we have to do is believe in him. We have to come and meet with him. We come and dine and learn the ways of Yahweh. How can we learn his ways if we never do anything? Oh, I believe the Bible. Oh, I believe in this. I believe in that. But do we believe? If we believe, we will keep his feast days. We will keep SHAVOT. We will keep the 50th day. We will learn how to count the Omer. And it's real easy. What we do is what? We come to Passover, and at Passover we have unleavened bread. And after unleavened bread, the very next day, we present the wave offering, the bread offering, the new bread, right? And from there we count 7 weeks. And after 7 weeks on the 50th day, we have SHAVOT, the Moedim of Yahweh, the Feast of Weeks, the 50th day. So thank you for listening, for watching. I hope this is edified. I hope it helps you. I hope you come and keep the feast days. If you have a problem with that, if you want to know more about it, I'm talking about a problem with finding it, then let us know. So until next time, may Yahweh bless you. May his countenance shine upon you. And may he grant you shalom. Again, questions and comments, share, and going over it are all welcome. Until next time, may Yahweh bless. Shalom, and have a great and wonderful day. Yahweh bless.